that that deal. But I did get this new thing called OBS, like what's it called? Something broadcasting software, like it's free, completely free. And like I can do, like when I'm doing my solo talks, I can do a screen grab so it gets my screen and I've got a little picture, like a little picture-in-picture kind of deal. Okay, well the live stream thing didn't catch on. Let me go back here and get this thing shared out. What I will do is go in the beginning and cut out the beginning stuff that's not really necessary while I'm getting everything changed up and shared so that the folks can watch it live. How many people watch it live? A lot of folks. Like doing Netflix has done that to everybody, where you don't really have to watch something live because it's banked there forever.
The DVR.
Oh yeah, which I love, by the way.
Yeah.
I watched, caught up on like 2 shows yesterday. Save. You better save the right way the first time, dog. All right, and then let's copy this. Come over here to the Facebook world, and then we'll get to some content. Facebook world, man. These people. This Gillette commercial. I'm glad you finally... I noticed that the other day when I texted you that your text came back blue and not green. Like all your old texts were green and now they're blue.
It's the second person to say that. I was like, what the hell does that mean?
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's good stuff. That's what we need.
Well, a lot of stuff at the office is more compatible with Apple, and then we're moving into a new home, and we're going to get some of that shit that, like
Apple TV and whatnot.
I don't know about Apple TV, but we're going to get the stuff that controls the thermostat and the door and all that.
That's
other
cool.
Stuff. So I'll be compatible with the rest of the house now.
Dude, I will say this: like a lot of people rag, like a lot of Droid users, and this is your first iPhone experience, correct?
Yes.
Dude, a lot of Droid users talk, so specifically Smitty. He's like, he will never do that iPhone thing. But I'm telling you, man, once you get used to it.
Well, I got to get used to it because I'm not right now.
Yeah, you'll come around. You'll realize it's almost like when I made the switch from Windows to Mac back in the day. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, I made a huge mistake. This is Greek. I don't know what I'm doing. This is awful. But then one day I finally realized, shit, Windows has been making me go around my elbow to get to my asshole for however long now, and I didn't even realize it.
Well, that's what all the kids use the Mac.
Yeah, man, the Mac's the way to go. Mac's a lot better than the Meg.
The Meg the Shark?
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that an awful movie? Did you watch that one?
Not only did I watch it, I bought it on Amazon. My son wanted to watch it. We bought it before it came out. We were home, and he saw it, and he's been dying to see it.
I'm going to go live on audio. You're good. Keep going.
And we bought it and watched it. We've got quite the collection on Amazon.
No, I like to do that, man. I like to support the cause. Like if I'm gonna watch a movie and enjoy it, I want to
Well, you got to remember, if a movie's like $14.99 or $19.99, and there's 3 of us that want to see it, it would cost us $30 to go to the movies.
Yep.
And we buy it $19.99. We can pause, do whatever, watch it.
In the comfort of your home.
Yeah.
And you don't have to deal with all these other people or waste gas to get there.
Yeah, we're movie people. Well, I'm a movie guy. Well, my wife likes to watch movies. I like going to the movies.
Yeah, we talked about that the other day at the Tit. Yeah. What did you watch recently? What's the most recent things you've watched?
I have seen Aquaman.
How was Aquaman? I haven't watched that one yet.
Did not like it. It was okay. It was way too long.
Was it way too? Was it?
And it was kind of campy. He was good. The Jason Momoa, or whatever the guy's name is. I don't know how you say his name.
I heard he was really good.
Yeah, Kyle Drago or whatever his name is. And what was he in Game of Thrones? Remember, he was in the first scene.
I never watched Game of Thrones.
That's a whole different subject. But he was really good, but it was just kind of campy. DC makes their movies are a little bit campy.
Yeah.
And I just didn't care for it. But we saw that. Of course, you remember I got a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
We saw. I got 2 kids. I got
before you move on from Aquaman, did it seem like it was just like a softcore porn for the women's? The women folk?
My wife went with me, and she normally doesn't go to the movies with me.
There you go.
And she likes that dude. And he was good. He was funny, and he different twist as Aquaman, and it was like Aquaman meets Point Break. Point Break,
yeah, okay.
And he was just a little bit darker and edgier and drank, and but so we saw that, and then my kid dragged me, and then I dragged my other kid because I was like, if I'm going to see this garbage, you got to go, because I did something for her and made her go with me, and we went and saw Bumblebee, and that was surprisingly good.
See, I have not watched either one of those yet, and
I go see Bumblebee first, and Bumblebee I went with the whole intention of taking a nap. I did, and Bumblebee was. In the last Transformer, the last couple have just sucked, I think. And the first few Transformers were pretty good, especially the first one.
Yeah, the first 3 I thought were great.
Well, this one was just made different, and it was good. It was really good, and it wasn't that long, and it was good. It was really, you didn't have to even see all the other Transformers. This was, if you put them in order of where they happened, this was number 1.
Okay, so this is the very first in timeline, chronologically?
Yeah, this would have been like in the, I can't remember if it was set in the mid-'80s or the early '90s. I can't remember, but it was, it was set back.
Well, as I told you the other day at Tito's, I watched every single Marvel movie, the entire Marvel catalog in order, like chronological order. The only thing I didn't watch was any of the Transformers, because none of the Transformers have to do with the rest of the Marvel universe. What about,
did you watch, Daredevil, the movie? Not the. I don't think you count those. Daredevil or Elektra, I don't think you count that.
No, I didn't watch those. I only watched the ones where they're all intertwined.
Okay, I got you. The ones where they intersect with the Avengers in these movies.
Yes, all the Avengers stuff. Man, those were really good. And I've sat out on the sidelines.
Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say this. Are we on?
Yeah, we're good.
So I'll do entertainment. I'm kidding. But I remember years ago, a friend wanted me to go see Iron Man. So I went and saw Iron Man. I was like, I don't want to see this. I don't want, and all I kept doing was the I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
That's a joke. And that was great.
Dude, awesome.
It wasn't good. It was great.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr., who I used to hate, is anything with him pretty much. Him and Sherlock Holmes is good.
Exactly.
So, I went and saw that. And that's what I would put Bumblebee in, that same category. I didn't want to go see it. I got dragged to it. There's 3 movies that I've seen like that. So, Iron Man, Bumblebee, and then out from left field, $1 Million Baby. I don't know if you remember that movie.
I never watched it.
I've I went and saw that with somebody because it was up for every Oscar and everything, and I was like, I guess I got to go see it. But I don't want to see a movie about female boxing. And it was probably one of the 5 best movies I've ever seen.
Dude, it's so good. You can't sleep on Eastwood, man.
Eastwood, I want to go see The Mule.
I haven't seen The Mule yet. I've seen it advertised. I have not seen it. I've heard only good things, though.
Yeah, I've thought about Lonely Guy in it to that movie. That's where you go by yourself.
Yeah, Lonely Guy.
And you got to do a matinee.
I always Lonely Guy. I always do that.
Oh, Lonely Guy's the best way.
You don't have to entertain anybody. You don't have to worry about anybody talking to you.
Yeah, and so I thought about, and I haven't. I would like to see that one. But the last movie that I've seen, and then there's a huge gap. I saw Creed 2.
Oh, dude, Creed 1 was fantastic.
Creed 2 was right there too, as well. I should say it was really good.
Is this our new Rocky?
Well, I don't know. You know what the thing is? Michael B. Jordan is becoming so big.
Yeah,
that there's only a niche for the Creed movies.
Was he also Black Panther, or was that
he was Killmonger, Eric Killmonger.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he kind of almost stole the movie. And,
exactly.
And he's really good. Stallone's really good in these things. And
after all these years,
yeah, and it was just really good. The whole Drago thing, they just made it to an element. I'm not going to sit here and say it was believable.
Yeah,
where it was entertaining, and somewhat believable.
Yeah, exactly. That's great, man. I've been after I binged all these comic book movies,
I've seen them all. I can't imagine one comic book movie I haven't seen. Now, did you watch the Deadpools?
Yeah, dude, Deadpools are great.
Well, yeah,
Deadpool 2 was good. I just watched Deadpool 2 the other day.
Well, and you know, and I'm happy for it because Ryan Reynolds seems like a decent guy.
He
seems
really
like
does.
but his movies suck, man. Most of
Yeah.
them. I mean, past Van Wilder, everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Amityville Horror I thought was decent, the remake.
Well, see, stuff like that, I just don't see it. There's just not a lot of.
I love horror movies. I love those horror movies. That's my deal. That's why I caved into the comic book movie world, because I really like horror movies. And for every horror movie that does really well, that's one less horror movie that I'm going to get in the theaters, because they're, for people who would want to see stuff that I like, are few and far between now, and the comic book movies are sort of taking over. So I felt like I had to.
Well, at some point, those things got to run their course. They really do.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they're about to kill off. I mean, I think the next Avengers, and if you haven't seen the latest Avengers.
Yep, spoilers.
Yes, you're one of the few people alive. But, half of them died.
Yeah.
But they turned to dust, and they're coming back. I mean,
sure.
Spider-Man's coming back because he's got a movie coming out this summer.
Yeah.
They're not going to kill Black Panther. His movie just made $1.7 billion. They're not going to stop him after one movie. So they're coming back. But the talk is that Iron Man, Captain America, all these guys are biting the dust. Thor.
Yeah.
Well, and this one, so they're going to go to a whole new realm, and I just don't know if I feel like getting invested in the whole new realm.
Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to not now, because I have to have closure.
Did you even watch Ant-Man?
Oh, and the Wasp. Oh yeah. Dude, I love Paul
Rudd.
Paul Rudd's great.
He really is.
He's
Michael
one
Douglas
of my favorite
is pretty
characters.
good in those too.
He was. Michael Douglas coming in hot.
Yeah, and I like the support group that I couldn't tell you the actors, but there's a group of like petty burglars and hang around with Paul Rudd.
Oh
in those
yeah,
movies.
What's his name?
The one Mexican
Pena,
guy,
Michael Pena.
He reminds me of Braga.
The rest, which one?
Michael Pena. He's like a Mexican Braga.
Oh yeah. Michael Pena was good, man. He was he did Friday Night Lights, I think he was in.
I don't think he was in Friday. He wasn't Chavez. That was the guy that's playing Magnum.
Oh yeah. Who am I thinking about?
Which is God. I don't watch that.
Magnum,
the new Magnum reboot.
I haven't seen any of it.
Yeah, with Higgins being a female, and then there's some sexual tension between Magnum and Higgins.
And you just can't plug it in.
It makes me think that they were in the closet in the last one. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I never saw any sexual tension between
for sure.
Thomas Magnum, Tom Selleck, and Higgins in the old one.
That's good. I haven't.
I just don't see it because Higgins in this one's kind of hot, and I don't. I'm hoping that I watched like 2 episodes. And I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah, that was like the what was the Sherlock with where Watson was Lucy Liu, I think. Was that Iron Man's? Was that Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock?
No, Lucy Liu was the one on TV, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, I can't remember it.
Well, I know I just finished watching all of Sherlock too, which was Benedict Cumberbatch and Michael
Well, that's
Martin
a
Freeman,
different. That's the one BBC. Yeah,
which is great, by the way.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but my wife saw it and she thought it was great.
Dude, very good. They're all like movie length too. Like
Yeah.
every episode is like a hundred or an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the guy that plays Holmes in that one, but he's. But it is Lucy Liu. That's the one that was on CBS.
Yeah. That's right.
And not the one that with Jude Law as Holmes with Robert Downey Jr.
No, I haven't seen that one. Oh, with Jude Law. Oh, yeah.
You haven't seen those are good.
I haven't seen those.
You need to go watch those. Like I said, almost anything with Robert Downey Jr. is pretty good.
Yeah, now going
back to Weird Science, good.
I haven't seen Weird Science.
You never saw Weird Science?
It was maybe a little bit before me.
It doesn't matter. That's a classic.
Yeah. I mean, I have no excuses. I have to watch it.
The name's Chet. You'll understand it.
All right. I'll watch it. But, yeah, Robert Downey Jr., and I saw the Iron Mans, and those were the first and only ones that I really watched out of the comic book universe because the trailer got me. Just the initial trailer for Iron Man with the Iron Man, I am Iron Man. Just that was so awesome. I was like, I have to watch this movie. And I watched all 3 of them. Jon Favreau, who's the driver, and also directed all of the Iron Man movies, I think.
Yeah, he did. Well, I don't know if he did all of them, but he did the first one for sure.
Yeah, huge fan of Jon Favreau.
Well, he's a very talented guy.
Yeah.
Good actor, good director. Good. I guess he writes some stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
So he's, I guess he's not a young up, but he and Vince Vaughn and that group came up together.
Yes.
Swingers.
Yep, the Swingers Crew, and he did that, and he's done Pixar movies. I think he might have done the Jungle Book remake.
Yeah, the other day I got caught up. I was at the house and The Sopranos was on.
I haven't done that yet either.
You haven't watched The Sopranos?
No, I know I'll just pour my life into it.
Oh my God, that's aged well too.
Yeah,
You need to start that from episode 1 because there's one of the episodes where Christopher Montesano wants to be a screenwriter, and he somehow gets tied in with John Favreau. How do we say the name? And it's a really good episode.
yeah.
So it's good.
I'll do
Dude,
Sopranos.
Sopranos. That is.
I know it'll
in
be top
everybody's
five.
top 5 of
Yeah.
all time. Sopranos, Breaking Bad. I don't know what else. I can't rank anything in front of those two.
In my top 5, man, I really got on fire for Sherlock when I first started watching it. Sherlock creeped right on in there for probably my top 5, but it's hard for me to top like Parks and Rec.
Yeah, but those are comedies. I'm
and
talking about
comedies, like
hour
actual
dramas.
shows,
Yeah.
hour dramas. Ballers is doing really well.
Ballers is okay. Ballers is kind of clever. This year they got a little political with Ballers about the
Yeah.
whole dropping to a knee thing and
Yeah.
stuff. The funniest show I think one of the funniest I've ever seen is Veep. Have you watched
I haven't
that?
watched Veep. That's with the Louis.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yep.
Veep is hilarious. Veep's one of the funnier ones I've ever seen. Of course, I love Curb Your Enthusiasm. I love Seinfeld. I love The Office. I love Parks and Rec.
The Parks and Rec's top dog for me.
Parks and Rec covers every office.
Yeah,
It really does, pretty much. I mean, just with that whole scene.
from season 1 to 7, there's never an episode that I could do without. Like with Office, there are seasons I could do without.
Well, Parks and Rec, the first season where they were kind of getting their footing was okay.
Yeah,
Where Leslie was kind of an idiot, more of, and lovable, and she was more of an idiot. And they had the one guy that was like the city planner that was dating
Mark
Rashida
Brandana
Jones.
quits. He had to go.
Yeah, they got rid of him
He
quick.
had to go. Yeah,
And then it got really good when Rob Lowe kind of came on the show.
the greatest cast ad ever.
And-
Rob
and-
Lowe and
and-
Adam. What's his name?
Which one? Wait, Adam.
Why am I missing his name right now? Adam Scott.
Oh, Adam Scott was good on there. But your boy from Bennettsville's on the show.
Yeah, Aziz.
Aziz is on there.
Yeah.
And then that show's really good. I'm trying to think of some other good ones. I think The Office is classic. It's first season.
The Office is very good. I wish that they would have wrapped it up a little earlier because it's 9. Cheers.
Cheers was good. Cheers hasn't aged as well as I would like.
Yeah.
But going back to the to Parks and Rec, and I just had a brain freeze. Ron Swanson is right there with Kramer, Barney Fife, iconic character.
Greatest.
Ron Swanson stole the show on that.
Absolutely,
that show.
he did.
And the way he buried the gold and all that stuff, and
Decoy gold.
and then his real life wife would be coming. He
Yeah.
had a weakness for her, and it was, and then he was a closet jazz man.
Oh yeah, Duke Silver.
Yeah.
See, I've read because I fooled around with the woodworking thing for a little bit, and I still do. But I've read his woodworking book, and dude, he's just a great brain. And him and Megan Mullally just wrote a book
She's 60
together.
years old, you know
and
that?
gorgeous.
Unbelievable. I saw her on some show, and she said how old she was, and I couldn't believe it. I had to check to see if she was just messing with
I
him.
follow her on the Instagram, and I see her posting pictures of and videos of them just doing goofy shit all the time.
Their sling
They're the
commercials
best.
are awful.
Oh,
I mean,
they're
awesome. I'm
so
sorry, I didn't mean to
great.
say
They're
awful.
so great.
Yeah, she's really good. Now, I didn't count her show. I just never really watched it.
Yeah. Now I watched Will and Grace the first time around a little bit. Like I remember Will and Grace was really funny.
Yeah, but this time when I
first time
watched, I
around. I
tried to
haven't
watch
watched
this one a little bit. It was real political, and I just don't go for that, man.
Yeah, me neither. I would rather be made to laugh and not think.
I just don't understand that these shows that go political and they lean hard left. I understand leaning to the left, but they don't realize that half the country leans the other way.
Yeah.
In Middle America and Southern America,
Yeah.
Southeastern America, definitely, kind of leans the other way. And it's I don't know.
And I don't care I really don't care what it is what point you're trying to get across or what side you're supporting. I don't care. I just don't want to hear about it.
Well, you
Whether
can't. I don't think it's
agree or
fair to
disagree.
hear. I don't think it's fair to hear about it when there's not another side to debate it.
Yeah.
And they just pick the points that they want to show that are wrong without picking the whole thing.
And that's sort of one of the things. And I love Saturday Night Live, and they're falling
I don't watch
prey
anymore.
They're falling prey to the same thing because it's just let's see who can rag on Trump the hardest. And like I said, I'm not.
Well, I
way.
tried to, but I listened to a lot of Howard Stern.
Oh yeah.
And Pete Davidson was on that show. He was still dating Ariana Grande at the time.
Yeah.
And he was an asshole. That's try not to cuss. I think that's my first one.
You did good.
Yeah, he just sounded like a prick, and he just sounded entitled, and it just wasn't enjoyable listening to him talk, and listening to his points of views, and I just didn't care for it, and I think that's the way the show is going now. So.
Me and Russell Green had the talk when the night after the election when Kate McKinnon did the Hillary thing where she played the piano. Did you see that?
No, I don't watch it anymore. I really don't.
Yeah, it's like this show's supposed to make me laugh, and that was not.
Well, now it's become mean-spirited comedy, and that's what's happened in politics, and it's just not enjoyable. I really don't watch much politics anymore. Now Saturday Night Live used to be great when they were just funny and not.
Yeah.
But when they used to have, what was it, Daryl Hammond, and he played all the presidents from Clinton to everybody. He was great, and they had Will Ferrell as Bush.
Ferrell was that was like that class with Fallon and Sandberg and all of those guys. I think that was the last really great cast.
Yeah, and Farrell's gone over the top.
And Tina Fey.
Yeah, Farrell's gone over the top with politics.
Yeah, I don't even follow and pay attention.
It's I just want to laugh. Kevin Hart, you don't see anything about politics with him, although he just got in a little bit of trouble. Still funny.
Yep, still funny. And not only that, I do like the fact that to get out and make giant grand gestures and apologies and everything for things that you have done is one thing, but it's a completely different thing to just say, hey, it was a different time back then. We could say different things, and it didn't mean what it means now.
I saw him on Ellen, and he's like, I'm not going to apologize again. He goes, I already went through this whole wave of apologizing for this thing.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm not a homophobe. And anybody that knows me knows I'm not a homophobe. And I have more respect for him for saying that.
Exactly.
And now they're talking about him hosting the Oscars again, and he doesn't know if he wants to host it.
I mean, would you?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
No, I wouldn't. I just don't think
it's just a big popularity contest, and I don't even think that they matter anymore.
No, everybody is sick of it on both sides. They're just all sick of it, and they just want to be entertained. Yeah, and that's how I am. I don't want to watch my shows that I just want to watch stuff and be entertained. Sopranos, when I was watching that whole rebuild, I didn't hear one politic version. There wasn't any reference at all. So yeah, and it was nice. It was refreshing, and you need to watch that show.
I will. See, I'm one of those people that whenever I get into something, I will devote my entire life to it, and I know that I will do that with Sopranos.
That's fine. So you got nothing going on during the day.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, so watch 2-3 episodes a day.
Oh, there's nothing. There's none of that. It'll be 5 or 6.
And you will, because that show's good right out the gate.
I'll take 6. I will devote 6 hours of my evening to literally just catching up on a show. Like I watched an entire season of a show last night.
What was it?
The Magicians. You ever watch The Magicians?
No, I hadn't. I saw the show.
It's a sci-fi show. You might not be as into it as I, because I really like the sci-fi, Harry Potter, wizardry kind of magic. Yeah. Sort of side of things. So I've watched the entire season.
I like movies like The Majestic and
The Prestige.
The Prestige. Wasn't it The Prestige, or maybe that was what I mean, not The Majestic, or was there a Majestic?
The Majestic was Jim Carrey, I think.
Oh, that was the one where he came back as a veteran, didn't know who he was. At a movie theater. You're right. The Prestige is what I meant. You're 100% right.
The Prestige was
Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale.
Yeah, and Micah Caine. Micah Caine. Dude, one of that one's in my top 10. That movie's in my top 10.
That's really good.
Sure.
Well, Christian Bale's a really good actor.
I haven't seen. Yeah. Have you seen Vice yet?
No. Again, I don't want to see Vice.
I hear that they did politicize, and obviously it's a political movie. But I heard.
I think Dick Cheney's an asshole. Boom. Second cuss, same word. But I just don't want to watch something that, again,
Yeah.
that's it's. I watched that movie that Oliver Stone did on Bush W.
Yeah, where
And there's no way he's that dumb. There's just no
Yeah.
way. There's no way he just bumbled and stumbled into being president.
well, wasn't do you now I don't remember if you probably aren't into the politics, probably didn't watch this. Did you watch the Will Ferrell comedy special that he did as George Bush?
I saw a lot of stuff that he did as George Bush, and I thought it was funny.
Yeah, he did an entire
Like when
comedy
he was like
special.
working at his ranch and stuff like that, and it was good.
He did a whole special where he came out and just was Bush. He was just W, the whole character, the whole way, and it was on HBO. It's still on HBO Go. But yeah, that was really funny. But I was more interested in watching Vice to see how well Christian Bale did, and Steve Carell as Donald Rumsfeld. I really liked The Big Short, and the same guy did The Big Short.
Was really good.
So good. One of the better movies I think that has come out in recent years.
Yeah. So. But, I don't know how we went from movies to TV, but I can talk. I love,
No, that's fine.
I don't get the time. I will watch TV like an
Yeah.
hour, maybe an hour and a half every night when I get home after the kids go to bed. And
Oh, yeah.
and it's uninterrupted. But there's occasionally where I'll, when I literally had back surgery like 3 or 4 months ago, and I had to miss a lot of work, and I just binge
How are
watch.
you, by the way?
I'm good, man. I'm healing and doing what I'm supposed to do, and it's nice to be. I'm not 100%, but I'm close.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's all we ask for.
Getting old sucks,
right?
But
the worst thing we've ever done.
I'll take it over the alternative.
Right.
And I'll stand by what Charles Barkley says. He likes old people and he hopes to be one someday. So, no, you're not old. What are you,
bro? I did 5 or 6 years at Tito's. You tell me that don't put years on you?
Owning that place to put years on you.
I guarantee it.
And there's always something.
I'll be 33 this year, though.
Oh God, 33. I'm 50.
Well, you have to, but you really have to understand that I was downing about a bottle of Rumple a day for quite some time. That really does take a lot of years off of you. Look at all this coming in right here.
Yeah, man. Well, that's at least you got it. So you got the Jesus look.
I'm getting the Jesus look going, man. I'm going to keep.
Let me ask you a question about you don't drink anymore. And how many years now?
It'll be 3 years on March 1st.
I drank. The last time I drank was on December 27th.
Okay.
And I've made a commitment. I'm not drinking for January.
That's good, man.
And so here we are. We're on January 16th, and I've had to go to Tito's for a couple of things. I had to go. There was a birthday party on Saturday night, and then I had to go. I had an event for work on Sunday. And then I had to go pick up my wife because she was at another birthday. Actually, it was Wes's birthday in Emmy. I don't know if you know Dan and Emmy.
Yep.
And their birthday, and they had a little soiree on Sunday, and so I didn't drink it either. It is something, man. Sometimes it is really hard to go in that bar when you're not drinking.
Absolutely.
And you sit down and I love everybody in there. And if somebody is 3 sheets to the wind,
T-minus 5 minutes, and it's like I got to get out of here.
Oh my God, that's what happened on Saturday. I told my wife, and she understood. And I was like, honey, I gotta go. I'm sorry, but I'm trying not to drink, and these people are driving me crazy.
Yep.
And it was just 2 in particular. And they were just hanging all over me, and they were talking to me, and they loved me, and they loved Tito's, and we were all family. And I was like, I gotta go.
You're right. We are all family, and I gotta get.
I gotta. Yeah, you can cuss. Go ahead. I mean, I'm fine. I'm trying not to.
No,
cuss.
I want to play the game too, man. You know,
it's just so easy to cuss, and I'm so good at it.
We are pros.
30 minutes into this, we'll be cussing like crazy. But I thought about it. I was like, I gotta ask Kelsey. And I Chuck Harrison.
Oh yeah, he hasn't drank in
2 or 3 years too.
Yeah.
And I saw Chuck on Sunday, and I was like down at the end of the bar, and I walked into it. Everybody was watching football and having a good time, and I said, Chuck, how do you do it, man? I said, how do you come in here and you don't? And he goes, man, there's sometimes I can't do it. He goes, like last night it was Charlotte Baruti's 40th birthday party Saturday night.
Yep.
So there was a ton of people in there. And I think Charlotte may have, per Facebook, I'm trying to think, I think she may have injured herself dancing that night.
Well, that's better than the other injuries that could have happened.
Yes, but welcome to 40s, Charlotte.
Yeah.
And
Wes sent me a Snapchat of the picture of his 42.
Oh yeah. So So I'm sitting there on the end of the bar, and Chuck comes in, and we're talking, and I was like, asking him how he did it, and he goes, man, nights like last night, I just don't even come up here.
Yeah.
He goes, I told Meredith I had to do something, and she understood, and I just don't even set foot in here.
It's smarter to do that.
Yeah, it's I just got to slow it down. I mean, I'm getting older, and the kids and everything. So I made a commitment on the 1st to start really eating better, which I've done, and the kick started. I was like, I'm gonna go 30 days without drinking. So my goal now is just to keep it to the Super Bowl, and then maybe who knows? Maybe I skip the Super Bowl. Maybe it's a shitty game to me, like the Saints and the Patriots.
Well, be careful, man, because you might end up just quitting. Because that's what I did. I started with a month off.
If I could, I would.
Yeah.
I really would. But I don't think it's a problem. And it's nice to take the edge off sometimes.
Oh yeah, nothing better than that.
But I do say this all the time, and I'm a guy who likes drinking. I don't think I'm an alcoholic because I don't drink every day. It's overrated.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's over. I'll take pot over alcohol 1,000 times over. And I know you've never messed around with that. I'm not a pot guy.
Yeah, but go ahead.
No, I know you've never messed around with that, and it's just that's for me is the one thing that I've got to help me with my anxiety and because I have horrible social anxiety, which you probably wouldn't know if
Yeah, I can understand.
I've just been because most of the people who have known me as being drunk for so very long, and pot helps me with the social anxiety aspect of it. But I realized that not everybody drank as hard as I did.
No, you're doing a bottle.
Yeah,
but I will say something about age. I found that I used to be able to polish them off. I'm a bigger guy, and I could go in there and just hammer some beer. But now, I drink 8 or 9 beers, and my body gets full.
Yep.
And I just got to stop. And so I think that's part of your body telling you. I just got to the point where. We went to a wedding with Chuck Harrison and Meredith, and we went to it in the Keys, and it was just 5 days of partying. And I heard
that was a good time.
It was a good time, and then I told my wife it's a good time for me to take a break because I'm 12 and a half years older than my wife, so I'm hanging out with all these people. My wife's 5 years older than them.
Yeah.
So I'm almost 18 years older than all these people, and I'm supposed to be running around and hanging out with them, and they'll find out.
They'll get there.
Yeah, they'll find out and they'll slow down and I get it. It's just that I'm just at a point where I got to dial it back. But as much as I love Tito's, it's hard to walk into because I'm gonna go ahead and cuss. That can be a real shit show in there.
Oh, for real, it really can be every single time. Like I said, I don't know how long. Whether or not I'm gonna cuss, whether or not
I just did. So I mean,
it's all no holds barred.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's machines or bar stools or people, if it goes, enters those doors. It's gonna get fucked up.
Oh, it's awful. The women's room. Have you laid eyes on the women's room
Not
lately?
In very long time,
the women that go into Tito's are absolute savages. We read that they are destroying the bathroom. It's like a pack of wolves are going in there and using it. It's hard to believe that because I'm going to give women a little tip here. A lot of times, if a man's got in a bar like Tito's, if they get to the point where they got to have a road win, they'll cut to the ladies' room.
Yep.
And do it. But that ladies' room can be so disgusting, and we clean it and we do all kinds of stuff every day, that the men's room is a safer play.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. Just in working, I could tell you about working at Starbucks in North Myrtle Beach forever, and it was a onesie. A onesie men's, a onesie women's.
I thought about making the Tito's ones just first come, first serve. Whatever one's open, go in there.
Take that, North Carolina.
I don't know if that's legal. I don't know. But
take that, North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina.
HBD.
Yeah, and it's just unbelievable. Next time you're in there, just take a peek in the men's.
I will. That's actually what's funny is you asking. I use that as like my okay. It's time for me to leave. Like I'll sit there long enough and drink a couple of ginger ales with Brian Jordan or whoever's there. And then when it's time for me to pee, when I have to pee, I was like, all right, that's my cue. It's time to go
road
home.
one's out of the question.
Yeah, road one's out of the question. Well, plus I can walk here anyway. So I mean,
Well,
even
when you get 50, you won't be able to walk this far.
yeah. Well, I mean, and I'm just saying, like, just for reference, that I'm just so close that it. But yeah, I guess whenever you get to the point where the gap between whenever you realize you have to and actually doing it shortens.
Well, you got a window, and your body tells you when the window is, and then you just get the hell out of there.
Oh yeah.
Or you hope Chicken Mike and Anita are in there, and you borrow the key and go next door, Meredith, and go to the Merle's Inlet 2020.
Oh, man. Now, there you go.
Or Wes. Wes lives right there.
Wes did just move Rhodes's old house.
Yeah, and Rhodes lives next door.
Really? Rhodes just moved next door? I didn't know that.
He lives next door, or he's 2 down, but he's right there. They're all on the same lot. David Rhodes, Wes Standish, Matt D'Antoni, and somebody else lives over there, like Blake Floyd or somebody. I can't remember who it is.
Man, that spot from there all the way to basically here is my ideal location for when I want to like get a house.
Well, this is the Inlet's just the best place to live.
It really is.
And I know there's a lot of people around here, but I just don't understand people that move here and move to Carolina Forest. I mean, the school system here is good. I do think that we're going to get more with 707 almost finished.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot more stuff opening up. The only thing we don't have in the Inlet, and God, I hope we get one, is a damn movie theater.
Man, Frank's, somebody needs to go. We should go into Frank's and reopen it.
Yeah, at the very worst, just do one of those beer 99-cent draft places and show movies for $2 or whatever. I don't know what it looks like in there, but I've joked a lot that somebody ought to run for office with the promise of bringing a movie theater back. Think about it. You live in Paulage, you live in Georgetown. Georgetown's got to drive all the way to Market Common or to the mall.
It's almost worth it for them to just go to Charleston.
Or just wait on Netflix.
Yeah.
Or Amazon. Or whatever.
It's going to be out.
But it just sucks. I mean, the movie experience is great, and I don't understand how Frank's went under. I really don't. I mean, anytime I went in there, it was crowded.
Every time.
And then Saturdays, I think what happened, this is just a one man's guess, I think that mall had some promises of some anchor stores coming in there, and I think Frank, Frank signed off with the rent. I'm guessing now. This is 100% a guess, and I think that they had some rent squabbles, and they were like, we're not going to pay this rent. These other people aren't here, and blah blah blah. And boom, we're going home. But then I heard some other Franks in some other cities. Like I think there was one in Savannah, and I think it closed down. So maybe they were having some problems with the company.
I dated a girl that worked there for a while, and I remember that she was talking about like paycheck issues that they were having.
Well, then that's it. Yeah, that puts that to bed.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, and there's at least a dozen rooms at Frank's, at least.
Well, I mean, it's got to still be set up the same way.
Yeah, I mean, there's at least a dozen theaters in there. Somebody went in there and did that again, man. That would make so much. That would make so much for our community.
And the bowling alleys, I think the bowling alley did well, and
which obviously they don't rip that thing all the way up. It has to still be there.
No, I think I saw them in the parking lot. They had all that stuff up. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what the logistics are and what you've got to do, but it would be nice to have a movie theater on the south end.
That would
be
the
only
nice
thing we're missing.
See,
that and Olive Garden.
This is what we're going to start doing. We're going to start the GoFundMe, guys. We're going to start GoFundMe to buy back Frank's.
Yeah,
we need a new movie theater,
and then we'll put an Olive Garden in as a satellite. No, I don't know if we. No, we don't need one. We got all that stuff.
All we need is a movie theater, and we got to have at least a Lids.
We don't need
Chick-fil-A.
We don't need another pizza place.
We got the pizza game.
Oh my God! You got from Uncle Mikey's to Millardo's to
Mushroom now.
The Mellow Mushroom. Then you got Old Chicago Pizza. Then what's the guy's name over here? Forget About It.
Yeah, Franco's.
Which is a great commercial, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
And then and I'm sure. And then you got your chains: Domino's, Pizza Hut. There's so much pizza in this area.
Dude, the new Domino's is right here beside Walmart. Man, got me. They got me, buddy.
Man, my son is 6, and there wasn't a Domino's in the Inlet, and he wanted Domino's so bad, he's over it now.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's new. Man, Domino's, when they first came back with that new crust that they did, I thought it was the best thing ever, and then I had it a couple times, and it was just like, okay,
The problem is Domino's
I'm
and
gonna go back to
Pizza
Papa
Hut,
John's now.
well, they're just not good compared to Mello, and Millardo's makes a hell of a pizza.
Millardo's is very good.
We forgot Vienna's in our
Oh,
pizza
how
place.
did I forget Vienna's? Goodness, Vienna's is my favorite one.
Yeah, we forgot Vienna's, and
Sorry, Vienna's, I love you.
yeah, and I'm sure there's about 10 other ones we're forgetting.
Oh, easily.
But
Creek Rats.
Creek Rats. Oh God. But when I was a kid, speaking of pizza, and I've always wanted to stop in and drive in home from Conway. Like, I go
Pizza
to Florence. That Pizza Inn, man. When I was a little kid, I used to love that Pizza Inn buffet.
Dude, Pizza Inn what was delicious back in the day, and I went recently, and it's
somebody
not
told me
what
it's awful.
It's not what you remember.
Somebody told me it's the same pizza we remember. We just guess we didn't have taste buds back then.
Yeah, well, the same with CC's. I remember being like broke when I first moved here.
CC's is like going out. It's like the ramen noodles of going out. You know,
Those things you pay $4 and eat all the pizza you want, and it is awful.
I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say it's disgusting because I mean they're making a living, but you're paying $4 for a buffet.
Yeah,
or $4.99 or whatever.
Just
it is.
the thought of that.
But the kids are happy as a pig in mud or pig in shit or whatever it is. Yeah, pig in slop.
You did good.
Yeah, and
well, they have a little arcade room.
They just love it, and orange and refillable orange soda. They love it, man. But I don't know. We just need a movie theater in the South End.
We
and
really
we're covered.
do. I would 100% go to the movies more often than. And like you said, you go to the movies a lot, dude. Coastal Grand is running the game right now with those recliners.
Those recliners, but if you are sleepy, you are napping, dude.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
And I'll stand by it. My wife gets on me because a lot of times she'll tell me she won't go to the movies because you're gonna fall asleep. And if a movie sucks, man, screw it. I'm taking a nap.
Yep.
And you know what? And I've taken a nap in a movie, and where I thought I was asleep for maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and then the movie comes out and I watch it, and I'm like, Jesus, I missed like 35 minutes of this movie sleeping, and it's the finest sleep around. I mean, it's nice, cool temperature.
Yep, good temperature, comfortable chair,
quiet,
very quiet.
Quiet, it's supposed to be quiet, and it's just it's unfortunate when you fall asleep in a movie, but man, just don't fight it.
Yeah, just
have you ever
lean
slept in a
into
movie?
it. Oh yeah,
it's awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
You're a little pissed you just pissed away however much money you did.
Yeah, well, see, and I don't know, do you do snacks when you go to the movie, or you skip the whole snack bar?
No, we typically do. Now, it was hard when we saw Aquaman because, like I said, I'm really trying to eat properly this time, and of course, you know, Jim got a little kids popcorn and some gummy worms, and Katie got a soda, and here I am with a bottle of water. It sucked.
Yeah. Dude, it's the hardest thing ever.
Movie theater popcorn is the best to me.
Hands down. I played at the Brass Tap the other day, right next to the theater at Mark Common. And just walking in back, you can just smell the butter from the popcorn.
Oh, man.
From the back door.
I don't know what kind of diet I'm on, but I'm on one of those ones where it's kind of a keto-based thing where you kind of eliminate a lot of sugars. You can have meats, and you have meats and kind of some fat, but you kind of eliminate some of the bad carbs.
Yeah.
And I got to think that movie theater popcorn is bad carbs, but if there's one thing that I could put back in, it wouldn't be spaghetti or pizza, it'd be movie theater popcorn.
They do it. There's something you can't make popcorn at home like that.
It's awesome,
it's the machine,
man. And
I
then
guess.
the gobs of butter and ugh.
You remember when we've had this conversation before, years ago, before podcast was even a thought of getting a popcorn machine for Tito's. Do you remember that?
Well, yeah, but I would do that if we could find one good enough. It'd be a mess, but you know, I would put that in there. But it'd just be one more thing for us to clean up.
Yeah,
and somebody would just steal it, or somebody stole the damn sign from Tito's.
Which sign?
The old sign that was on the outside that was on the building.
Man, I
wanted to put it on the wall, and then when anybody marginally D or E list famous, I was going to have him sign it.
Yeah.
You know, like Michael Kelly comes back, he signs it. You know,
Michael Kelly's A-lister now.
Dustin Johnson comes back in there.
DJ
he can
is
sign
an A-lister now.
You know,
can we?
Ed Piotrowski comes in there. He signs it.
Ed's making it. Ever since Hurricane Florence, I think Ed's maybe a B-lister now.
Yeah, and but we had it leaning up against the wall, and I'll be damned if the thing ain't gone.
Well, that's the whole old adage. If it goes into Tito's,
it's somebody else's property.
It's getting wasted.
You gotta peek your head in that women's room next time you go in there.
Oh, I will now. I'm going to make it a point.
Yeah, it's kind of cosmetically. It's like lipstick on a pig right now, but you can see with the work they've done, and we'll probably in the next week or so get it done because it's so slow right now.
Yeah,
and just get it cleaned up. But
man, speaking of how slow it is, was that the slowest New Year's on the Marsh Walk you ever remember?
Well, I didn't go out. I mean, I'm old, dude.
Well, we played at Creek Rats, and granted, it was Creek Rats.
But see, I heard Dead Dog was slammed.
Dead Dog was busy. Bubba's was sort of busy.
Tito's never does well on New Year's Eve. And the main reason is because people want to go out and get some dinner, and they want to get dressed up, and nobody gets dressed up and goes to Tito's.
Very true.
You just don't do it. It's fun. It's kind of
not our style.
No, and then you got to remember a lot of people hang out in bars till after midnight.
Yeah. And
then they'll go home. So, and after midnight is usually when people are 11 or 11:30 is when people start really wandering into Tito's. So, So it's never really been a good, big night. It's an okay night. It's busier than most, but it's not like, the busiest time. I tell you what, in the last year, the two busiest days I think we've ever had were St. Patrick's Day this year, or St. Patrick's Day 2018 was on a Saturday night, and the Marsh Walk was nuts.
Yep, I remember that.
And it bled over to Tito's, and we posted a huge number that day for us. And then that damn chicken ball contest.
Man.
That thing was unbelievable.
I was there for that, and I remember seeing, I was sitting here, and I've had this, like, the funk that keeps going around, and it just like, leaves and then returns and just keeps circulating back into my life. I wasn't planning on going down there. I saw a bunch of my folks from North Myrtle Beach, like a family that comes out and sees me all the time up in North Myrtle Beach, and I saw they were there doing a chicken bog, and I was like, okay, I'll go down there and check it out and see what the deal is. And man, there was just so
I don't know if you saw
people.
The amount of trash we had. It was unbelievable. I mean, it was unbelievable how much, and we got it all up, but God knows we had an overflow problem. Thank God Drunken Jack's was closed because we were able to borrow the use of their dumpster a little bit.
Yeah.
We didn't put much in there, so if you pissed off, we thought we had permission. So, But I think are they closed for the whole month?
Yeah, they usually close in January for renovations.
Yeah,
give everybody a month off.
So we were just, we had Pelican trash cans with a dumpster, everything. It was just unbelievable. And what happened was the weather was so crappy for so long.
And that was the raining, first nice day.
And it broke out, and it was like 65 to 70 degrees. And it was, and we were ready. For Tito's, we had 3 bartenders. We had a bar back. Blair, who's kind of overseeing Tito's now, had it as more prepared than I would have.
Yeah.
She had an outside bar going, and my God, we needed 2 bars outside or 3 bars outside.
Hands down, like a liquor bar, maybe, and a beer bar outside would have been great.
And we had 1 beer, but that
was good.
We needed 2 more. That's how busy it was.
Yeah, it was very, very busy.
And then we need to do it like we used to do when Villanova played Tito's. And we put the tent outside, and we used to gut the whole bar out.
Yep, and take all the chairs out.
Yeah, we need to take the tables out and then push the chairs up against the back wall, and just leave the. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever be that busy again. I felt bad for Phil, and he was great because I just felt like we may have let him down a little bit, but he was happy. I mean, I just didn't think. I thought it would be busy. I didn't think it'd be that busy. That was crazy.
Yeah,
remember that's like the 6th or 7th one we've done.
Yeah. Well, and Phil was fine. And I'm not talking about on the podcast that week. So.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about the 6th or 7th chicken bog. I'm talking about like event because we do the collar cook off and that and I don't know. It's just next time hopefully we're more prepared because I don't want people to come in and go, man, did you go to Tito's? It was just too damn crowded and blah blah blah. And somebody was saying something. About the services inside. We can't get you can't put more than 3 bartenders behind that bar.
Yeah, and not only that, I went in there and it was the new guy. I think one of the new guys was in there behind the bar.
It was Bry Guy. No, Bry Guy wasn't there. It was Chief.
Bry Guy got there later.
It was Chief, Austin, and Brandon behind the bar.
Yeah,
the new guys.
I would say that for sure. If you're gonna, you got to have studs behind the bar.
And it was
stuff like that.
And Blair was outside, and Blair was killing it. I mean,
Oh yeah.
It was a good day for the bar. In January you need that. So
yeah, exactly. Which I think that we've done really good being the local spot for so long. Like especially now that that spot next door is not.
Yeah, but you know what? Some of those people are trying to bleed and get in, and they're
Yeah,
causing
and
problems, and we're doing our best to get rid of them. And
not dealing with those types of people is going to be the best.
but you know what's
route.
bad is, and we don't do this every night, but Stoney and I look at the cameras a ton, and we look
Yeah.
at the cameras a ton while we're home, while people are open, and we've called and we know some people that are like up to no good, and we'll like get that person out. They got to go.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the element we're trying to keep out of there. And you know, another good thing is, and some people that work there hate it. My wife is not a big fan of it, but you know, since we can't put the owner doesn't want us to put the sign where it used to be. So we put the Tito's on the front of the door, but because you can't see through the door when the police are driving by, they're legally stopping by and walking in now. Which, man, I'm good with that.
Dude, I think that's the best thing that could happen.
I am good with that. And if you're in there and you got a problem with that,
then you're probably doing something you shouldn't be doing.
And you don't need to be in there. Yeah. You know what? And if people are saying, well, they're watching us drinking and driving, well, we don't want you drinking and driving.
Well, good. Don't drink and drive.
Don't drink and drive. And
we have a fantastic cab company in the inlet outside of Uber. And
now you got Lyft, you got Uber, you got all this so easy to get home. And you're talking, and I'm not preaching to anybody because, now granted, it's been some years, but I've gotten a DUI before, and there's not a more sobering feeling than getting a DUI. And I remember sitting in jail when I got my DUI and beating myself up, and I remember the guy sitting in jail with me said, "Well, at least you didn't kill anybody." And I was like, you know what?
The man's right.
He's right, and then it's made me think of all the times I was stupid in the past. I'm okay to drive, and I'm this and that, and
you don't weigh in the options.
No, you don't. But if you're in a local bar, and a lot of people that come here were within a 3 to 4 mile radius of the bar, and it's easy to get back to the next day, and if you think the police are a deterrent for you to drink and drive, well, good.
That's what it is.
We're winning if that's the case. And we were talking about the other incident. People probably there's a big hole in the side of the wall of Tito's. We won't go too far into it. But one of the things that saved our ass, but when Cliff called me the day of it, and I was like, Cliff, we were slow last night. I can't imagine this because I showed him the text. The bartenders wanted to close early.
Yeah.
Well, the police were across the street because it was so slow, and they had a cop just sitting there, right outside that Wicked Tuna parking lot from 12 to 3.
Yeah.
So, they told Cliff, hey, nothing happened before 3 a.m. because we were right there and we'd have seen it.
Yeah.
And so, we love that bar. You love that bar. We have a lot of fun in that bar. But that bar is not, it's not a clubhouse where anything goes. There are rules and regulations.
Exactly.
And they will be obeyed.
Exactly, they will be. And this is finally a time in which, there are repercussions. There was a really long time when we would have the same people that would come in and create problems or whatever. We'd have to ban the same person.
We just banned somebody last week. I'm not going to say a name, but the guy was just he was the common denominator in a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And you know what? Boom, you're gone. And, and it's... it's hard. When Stoney and I did this place, and we said it before, we wanted a place we could go to, and it's somehow, I guess, being open almost 10 years. We're going on 10. This is December will be 10 years, and so what am I trying to say here is we didn't think it'd get this busy. It's gotten to the point where it's a lot busier than we thought. It's not anything where we both can quit our jobs. But we're paying the bills, and we're able to pay ourselves now.
It's self-sustaining now.
We are legally paying ourselves. We cut a check, pay the IRS, everything, and it's become a little bit of a headache. And and it's just having Blair involved now is helping things out and out because Blair, if Blair's in there and she sees things going, she'll just shut the damn bar down.
Yeah, she knows the bar.
And if somebody's not acting right, she knows what she's doing, and we're lucky. And and I couldn't handle it anymore because I was the one they were calling, and more often than not, and it's just I got a wife and 2 little kids at home. Well, not little, 14 and 6, and I that's not what I signed up for.
Yeah, exactly. This is definitely It's still what you want it to be.
It's still fun. You go in there at
sometimes.
happy hour, and you go in there to watch a football game, and if Carolina's playing or if Clemson's playing or Georgia, it's a fun place to be.
It's a good crew.
And you go in there, but you get there late night. And I'll tell you what, there's a good group that's coming there at night too that takes care of the place. I don't know if you know Sean Effinger, if you've met him yet or not, from New York. He's great, and his brother comes in there, and then he's got a friend Mike, and these New York guys have come in there at night, and they're a lot of fun, and they're funny, and but then you still got you guys. He's a pain in the ass, but Repack,
God love him.
God love him. Repack would die for that bar.
He would. And you know what? But it's funny. Repack wants to be my stat guy for sports talks. He wants to be the guy to just kind of sit. He wants to be like kind of a.
Yeah, you can't put him on because there's not an ounce of entertaining value on him. I'm kidding.
I disagree completely.
Maybe you should do a show one day where it's just me and Wes talking to Repack.
Dude,
and then you chiming in.
Dude, I would love to. I've got Wes coming on. When do we got Wes? Wes will be here in a few days. I think he's going to be doing next Wednesday, a week from today. Wes is going to be here. So, I think that
Wes he's had a good run this holiday season. So I'm not saying women wise or anything. I'm just talking about he's had a lot of fun. So he'll probably have some good stories. A lot more entertaining than the guy who's not drinking in January.
Dude, I'm the guy who hasn't drank in 3 years, and I have a podcast. So there's entertainment.
Yeah, but you get to see a lot of it still. For what you're doing, you're still a musician.
Yeah.
And is it really y'all's 1,000th show, or is it just kind of a number?
I don't know.
I really would have liked the 1,000th show. I would have liked to have first dibs at that.
Smitty was looking through the calendar, and he said, as of right now, our 1,000th show is going to be at Neil and Pam's.
So
on this day, so they're already.
So that's got to be Cornbread 1,000 shows of any variation of Cornbread.
Yes.
So it could be you and Adam. It could be
or Smitty and Ed and me, and because out of those 1,000 shows, by the way, I've missed one.
Really?
Yes.
So your 999th show.
Yes.
Maybe I'll have you play the next night at Tito's, and it'll be the 1,000 show with Cornbread featuring Kelsey.
Yeah, I've missed one gig out of all of those. We've had substitutions for Smitty in a bunch of them, Adam in a lot more than Smitty's missed.
Yeah.
I've missed one of those gigs.
Well,
they've done one without me.
I know we don't do live music like we used to at Tito's, and which I hate. But you know what? I get them to come to Tito's and nobody gives a shit. It's unbelievable.
That's the thing.
Not you guys. It's just. We get guys like Satterfield and Brian Connor solo.
We were talking, me and Wes were talking about Satterfield the other night. I hadn't even heard anything from him
he's like out on the West Coast and stuff. But I talked to him. I called him just on the fly a couple of weeks ago because we had that Sonos now at Tito's, and I downloaded a shit ton of John Satterfield, and I played it, and I told him, and he was. He told me he had another album coming out pretty soon.
Good.
And
great songwriter.
Yeah, and he is. What was the album that he had? I'm trying to think. Oh, it's Goodbye Whiskey. If you ever get a chance to download John Wesley Satterfield, Goodbye Whiskey, I think that's the name of the album.
Yeah, it is.
That is a great album.
It really is.
His EP is really great, but it's kind of almost depressing. But his Goodbye Whiskey is as good as it gets without making it.
Dude, that Appalachian Wind song is
man, that could be
fantastic.
A hit. That really could be. And I put that album on in two places. One, we had like a speaker system when we were in the Keys, and we had a bunch of people at the house we were staying in. And I played his music, and I played that album. And it wasn't anybody going, what the hell is this? Everybody was, humming along.
Yeah.
And I played at Tito's every now and then during happy hour, not at late night.
Yeah.
And nobody and everybody, is kind of catching a groove to it, and it is a phenomenal album. And I would have never thought I was coming on your podcast to promote John Wesley Satterfield.
It's fine, but listen, I mean, me and John used to every single time he'd come down there, he'd always
y'all played a lot together.
Yeah, he'd always call me to come and jam with him. And I've got a lot of old recordings of those shows where There was one that I did where I was of questionable mental state.
Yeah.
And I've got all that recorded.
Well, I'd like to hear that.
It's crazy.
But he, he's awfully talented, but he's doing some other things, because, I think, well, his music is still his passion, but I think he's working with a hospital now. It's actually in Mexico, lining up entertainment for like cancer patients.
Yeah,
or something.
He's been doing that for a hot minute now.
And I think he's making a pretty decent living, and I think being able to pay your bills is a big thing.
Oh, you telling me?
Yeah,
man, I was, and you know this better than anybody. I was I was living like, hey man, can I borrow this? To hey man, can I borrow this? From everybody that I know for a very long time. Which is the biggest thing that I have to keep me from not drinking is knowing that, like, okay, well, I'm not out spending all my dollars on.
Oh yeah. Well, if you're on a low budget, Tito's is your place.
Yeah.
In the inlet.
By the way, low budget drinkers, Tito's is your spot.
Tito's is your spot.
Best prices on the inlet.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is.
It's true. But seriously though, we have a very unique spot at Tito's in where it's literally dead center between pretty much Hot Fish Club and like Beaver Bar, basically.
Well, that's how we originally paid our bills. Was the guy the not really the Beaver Bar, but not Hot Fish, but I'm sorry, I totally misran with that.
No.
We originally paid our bills from Wicked Tuna, Dead Dog, Creek Rats.
All the service industry.
All they came in, and they would fill us up, and that was it. And then somehow, I don't know if the secret got out, and then it became. I just can't imagine getting myself dialed up and looking slick to go to Tito's late night. And they do it, man. And I look on the cameras every now and then, and I want people to know that I don't stalk, I don't look for a while, but people are in there dancing their ass off and having a good time, and and for the most part, knock on wood, there's not a lot of fights. I know we had that one unfortunate issue that I do not want to even comment on that did not happen in the bar.
Yeah.
That 100% did not happen in the bar.
It was a very. I did a pretty extended episode about that.
Did you see the film?
I saw the film.
It did not happen in the bar.
Did not happen in the bar, and I made sure to let the listeners know everything that was.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to comment on it because, but I will comment that it did not happen on the bar, and that one of the parties did not even have a drink or ever even set foot in Tito's, and I don't want to comment too much on it because. You never know what's coming. That was a big situation. Well, that and legally, there's still might be some ramifications, knock on wood, but that's why we got insurance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why we finally we have cameras.
Well, thank God those cameras saved our ass on that, because there was a lot of bullshit.
There was a lot of people that were saying things that
there was
a
lot of people, and WNBF was the worst. And I have no problem calling them out. I mean, they ran with nonsense.
Well, not only that, they did the same thing to Remedies the other day. Did you hear about that?
I didn't hear about it, but they should be ashamed of the way they do news. And it's I called up to to MBF when they ran one of the reports, and they told me that one of their sources was the Facebook. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're running with this shit. And I will cuss during this. And then CNN picked it up. And then Fox, God love them, Fox said it happened in a popular Merle's Inlet night spot.
Yeah.
Nightclub.
They did. Yeah. But no, I watched the whole thing. I saw the video, and
it's eerie to watch.
It's everything it was almost out of camera shot because it was so far away from the bar.
It was out by the mailboxes.
Yeah.
It was right in front of the mailboxes in the parking lot. And, and they
where the cops park now. So if they would have been parked there then, they would have seen.
Yeah. Well, it's still an unfortunate situation.
Absolutely.
And there's still a lot of bullshit that's flying around with that. The whole premise that's flying around, the narrative is wrong.
Yeah.
And let's don't talk about that. But the whole narrative about what went down is 100%. It's flip it around. Yeah. Flip it around is the way it is. And but that was not a fun time to be a bar owner.
I'll bet.
And that was fun. I was sitting at home just literally 3 days after back surgery, and boom, that happens, and that was miserable. So, but thank God for those cameras.
Thank God for the cameras. We needed that.
Yeah, we did. And so, So the cameras do help. But Tito's, going back to it after that little bit, it's a fun, interesting place that can definitely get sideways in a hurry.
Oh yeah, if you are lacking at all for stories to tell around the dinner table,
you got to go for happy
stop
hour or
into
something.
Tito's.
Listen, the best time to go to
the best
Tito's,
crew.
the best, or if you're ever bored,
Get
you
there
catch
at
it on
4.
or get there on a Sunday. Get there Sunday, like either during the second football games or during like a major golf tournament.
Oh,
and
yeah.
There's a lot of smack talking, and the thing is, it's a lot of people. If you're thin skinned, don't come in there.
Absolutely, you will talk shit.
Yeah,
And I say we as in the collective we, Tito's people. We're shit talkers
to each other too.
Yeah, there's no holds barred.
Oh, and it's funny, and it's funny when they're riding somebody's ass, and you're just hoping it's not going to be you.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Is we always choose whoever the weakest link is.
That makes us bullies. No, we don't. I don't think we're bullies. We choose whoever does something stupid.
I don't know. We have been. We've been known to bully a couple.
No, man. No way. Who have we bullied?
We used to bully Chicken Mike pretty bad.
Chicken Mike asked for it. He comes in there and says stupid things, and he loves it. He eggs it on.
Yeah. Same with Repack.
Repack asked for it because Repack says some stupid things. Here's the deal. If you come to Tito's and you say some stupid stuff, you're going to get called out.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that's what's happened. Now, Chicken Mike says it on purpose. He enjoys it. He likes getting the attention and likes getting people revved up. And he knows what he's doing. Repack just says it and just drives it into the ground until he drives you crazy. And... the best things are when we get Repack going on being a homophobe.
Oh, yeah.
Those are good.
I'm not.
Ain't no way I'm sucking,
Dude, I wish that we could. Can we tell them the game that we play? Is that too much?
We don't do it that much anymore.
This was the old school
It's very
thing.
uncomfortable, and I actually started that game on a Sunday night, and it's called Silent Treatment. Is that the game you're talking about?
Well, silent treatment is one thing, but I was talking about Repack. Would you?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't want to say
can't.
it because I don't want it out there in broadcasting. If we say something to it, I do have a career in broadcasting.
Yeah.
So, but I tell you what's awkward is when silent treatment's done right.
When the silent treatment's done right, it goes well. That means that. I'll let you explain it.
What happens is if we see somebody get out of the car. Now, most of our regulars know what it is now, but if we see somebody get out of a car, we'll be like, first one to talk to such and such has to buy the whole bar a shot. So when X amount of person comes in, you can't talk to him. So, but now let's say we do that to Wes. Wes comes in, oh, silent treatment, I see what I'm getting. So everybody's onto it. But for a while, people didn't know.
Yeah.
And it got downright awkward.
So nobody wants to talk to me?
I saw Chicken Mike lose his shit one night in there on July 4th when nobody talked to him. But I've seen us do it perfect to Robert. And what I usually do is say, silent treatment to Robert. And then I walk to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then if I come out, it's been 2-3 minutes of silent treatment. And normally somebody is caved by then.
But there is a silver lining here that whoever talks to the person first has to buy a shot for everybody else
Yeah,
playing.
that's the thing. And so, and the bartender is allowed to talk to him, but he cannot tell him what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
So that's it. But the Repack, what would you do? Would you, those get a little, we got to be careful.
Those are very racy.
They're very racy and they're very politically incorrect.
Yeah.
But they're also very funny.
They're very funny, man. But I do see now in this new age where people are getting upset about, about Gillette commercials.
Yeah, you were talking about that earlier. Now, when Wes comes on next Wednesday, I'm going to let Wes talk about it, but you need to ask, Wes has really been getting on Robert lately.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because Robert comes in there and just, knows all the inside information.
Yeah.
And Wes has been calling him out lately on it. So, so you let Wes tell those stories. His patience has gotten thin.
Roberts?
Yes. No, not Roberts. Wes is with Robert. They still likes him, but he's just on his opinions. And
Speaking of random opinions, I know this is sports related, but I have to ask your opinion.
All right.
How different is the Kelly Bryant situation from the Jalen Hurts situation?
Well, first of all, let me say this. I'm not a Clemson fan. I don't hate them. I don't like them. I just
Nice
don't.
segue. Did you like that?
Yeah. I'm not a Clemson fan at all. And I think Dabo can be kind of tacky sometimes. I think and I think in his press conferences and things, and after the games, he can be in a way antagonizing towards fans. Like, I've said it. We've knocked off LSU. We've knocked off such and such. Blah blah blah. And he can say all this stuff rather than being. I don't think he's very humble. And but that being said, what he did took balls. It took balls, just like Saban sitting Jalen Hurts for the second half against Tua. He took a guy that was a starter who was a senior leader. And he took him, and it was clear the other guy was better. Maybe not,
easily.
But the talent level was better. And he had the balls to say, you know what, we're going to start this other guy from now on. And he could have screwed Kelly Bryant. He could have waited one more game.
Yeah.
And then Kelly Bryant's red shirt's gone. I mean, but because he gave him, that rule change with four games, it didn't count this year. And so it sucked for Kelly Bryant. And on the other end, everybody gets a participation trophy thing. It's not the way to do it. But look how fucking good Clemson is positioned now.
Man, they're gonna we can't beat that. Alabama can't beat that.
Well, you can't beat that. I don't know how Swinney does it. I really don't. And let me just say this about Dabo Swinney. He went to Alabama, and I have a very good friend of mine that played basketball at Alabama. I mean good friend. Like if I call this guy right now, this guy's his name's Brian Pasnick, and he does Alabama's games on the radio for basketball. Yeah. He played basketball there. I can text him during the games, and he'll stop and pause. And it's a color man. He'll text me back as soon as he gets a break. I've gone on Facebook and made a couple shots. It's been a few years at Dabo Swinney, and he's called me personally. He's like, man, you need to take that down. That guy's a good guy. He goes, I'm telling you, that guy is a good dude. He thinks he is an excellent human being.
He seems like he is to me.
Yeah, he's just got a little bit of edge to him, and he just takes things personal, which I guess I kind of do too. So they're positioned so well, and people that think that he'd be an idiot to leave Clemson. And the reason I say that is I'm not downplaying Clemson. Because what they did on the field, you can't argue with that.
Yeah, that was brutal.
But the ACC sucks. It sucks tops to bottom, and he doesn't have the pressure doing say what you want about the SEC, but going to Mississippi State and playing with those cowbells and then turning around and having a home game at LSU and then jogging out to play Georgia, and you got a 3-week gauntlet of that. That's which is tougher, that or the Duke, NC State, Boston College run.
Florida State.
Well, and that's the thing about the ACC. It's not Dabo's fault that Florida State and Miami suck now.
Yeah, well, and we thought that what's his name was going to be going to Miami. We thought Jalen was going to go to Miami instead of Oklahoma, but
they got Tate Martell.
Yeah, the guy from
Ohio State.
Yeah,
and Bishop Gorman in Vegas. But Dabo has got them positioned, and I really do think talent for talent, they're pretty even, and I think Georgia's right there with them. I think Georgia didn't give a shit in the Sugar Bowl.
Y'all would if y'all would have got put in the playoff, y'all would have beat us. Like y'all beat us on both sides of the field. Well, I was so lucky.
I think what happened to Bama, I really do. I think playing Auburn, playing Georgia, and then I think going in the heat and playing in Miami and chasing that kid around for Oklahoma.
Kyler Murray, yeah.
I think it did a number on Bama.
Yeah.
And I think that Clemson got a good draw with Notre Dame, but Clemson beat the. I mean, listen, man. Those big wideouts. I've seen them against Bama too much. Those big wideouts have big games. They got those 6'4", 6'5" wideouts. That Lawrence kid's going to get better. It just drives me crazy that Clemson's won 2 national championships. I'm a Georgia fan. I'm from Georgia, and the quarterback's been the best player on the field for Clemson. And where's he from?
Out of Georgia.
It just kills me. Thank you, Mark Rick.
Yeah, right. Well, now is Kirby Smart going to be changing that up a little bit with the recruitment?
Well, a lot of the problems.
You got to lock down your best player in state.
Well, Well, this year, according to the ratings, they didn't because just one kid went to Oklahoma, but really they did because they signed the number 2 overall recruit, a guy named Nolan Smith. He goes to that IMG Academy.
Oh yeah.
And but he's from Savannah, my hometown, so I've got an interest in that. But so yeah, he got the best player truly out of Georgia this year. But I think I don't know if you saw with Georgia let their offensive coordinator. They didn't fire him, but he got offered a job from Oklahoma. I mean Tennessee, and Georgia could have matched because he was under contract, and they just let him go. And they part of the reason they let him go was the second half meltdowns against Bama, both times.
Yeah, well, was that a meltdown though, or was that just a freak accident?
What they say he does is they say he gets a lead, which he's had in both games,
and lets his foot off the gas.
And he lets his foot off the gas, and he tries to clock it. He tries to do things to run the clock, and he falls in love with the run too much. Yeah. And they in today's age, to get great wideouts and all these guys, you got to throw it around a little bit, and we only averaged 185 yards a game passing, and they think they've got to. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say, but he must have knew he was going to do it because the guy was the offensive coordinator 2 years ago, and then last year was the co-offensive coordinator, and this year he's out the door.
So they were transitioning anyway.
Yeah, so I think they were transitioning. But going back to Clemson, Jesus, the thing that I didn't understand is Alabama was moving the ball. And I've never seen somebody adjust like that against Bama.
We were averaging like 7 yards a carry.
Well, and you were running the ball, and you scored 16 points in the first quarter, and you didn't score again.
That was just so shameful.
But how does Dabo keep those guys? And everybody's like, well, Venables making $2 million. Well, you know what? Kirby Smart was making a hell of a lot of money at Alabama. You know what he's making now? $7 million.
Yeah.
And you go out, you coach somewhere for 3 years at $7 million. That's better than the 10 years you're going to have to coach to make that at Clemson. And you know what? And in 15 years, when they got a statue of Dabo outside of the stadium, nobody's going to remember Brent Venables. Why in the hell does he go be a head coach somewhere? He could pick his job.
Well, here's the thing that somebody said.
And none of their coaches, but none of their coaches leave.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, none of their coaches leave. There's a lot to be said for. There's a lot to be said for Brent Venables or for Dabo Swinney in first of all, because he's got the same coaching staff around him that he's had.
The only guy that he's lost is Chad Morris.
Yeah,
that's the only guy he's lost, and I don't understand how they keep him. Because you look at now, Georgia kind of fell into what happens to Alabama every year, where we lost our coordinator and a couple other coaches and went to a bowl game, and if we would have made the playoff. They would have been in the playoffs still coaching, but that's a distraction. When Smart was going to Georgia, you
know that there's another option for you.
Yeah, you're focusing on your your next job.
Or even when Lane Kiffin we knew he was out the door, and Steve Sarkisian stepped in.
Are you happy about getting Sarkisian?
No, and I just don't understand.
As a Falcon fan, I hated him,
dude. As an Alabama fan, I hated him. And it's just not, we're not that kind of a squad. We are not a high-flying passing team. And granted, we have a high-flying passing quarterback that does nothing but throw picks now.
Well, I don't think he's healthy. I don't think he's healthy. I think he's gotten hurt. I think his ankle's not 100%. I think that when he got sacked against Georgia, he rolled the shit out of it. And I think he's hurt.
He should have never come back in that game. He should have, and we would have lost to Clemson. Clemson had our number for this championship game. He should have never.
Y'all, I couldn't believe how thin Alabama was. And when I mean thin, I'm talking about lack of depth. Yeah. Their defensive side, they were one deep at almost every position.
Yeah.
And I've never seen Alabama like that.
Never.
And I don't know if y'all were injured because I don't keep up with it that much, but. Clemson. Now, Clemson, while everybody's giving them the national championship, including me, it was discouraging watching Clemson look that good because I was like, man, I'm a Georgia fan. We're not close.
Yeah.
They look that good. But let's be honest, though. Clemson played great, has a boatload of talent, but they also careered it that night. They had guys making one-handed catch after one-handed catch, and it was just everything that could go right.
They were playing on God mode. It was like a video game.
Yeah,
it was literally watching them play God mode.
And they played great, and again they deserved it. So I don't know if that's going to happen where they're going to play at that level.
They
again.
only had 2 turnovers in the entire game. Not even that. Or 2 third down third down drives where they did not.
Well, the third, and
Get
they
the first
made it.
down.
They made it a first down on so many third
They
and
scored on
12s.
every single drive except for 2 in the entire game.
That's unbelievable. But going back to Clemson, they lose so much on defense.
Yeah.
They lost that whole front seven. They lost their secondary. You know, they I think the only thing they lose on offense was a couple offensive linemen and the kid from Sockasty, Hunter Renfro.
Yeah, he's 100.
Yeah, God knows he's been in school for a long time. He really has. And
He was catching up on all that he missed in soccer day, probably.
yeah, but he's
Excuse me.
he had a nice career though. There's no caught passes in 43, 44 games.
Not a better story, and there's not a better story. And now the only better story, and I watched the game with Tyler Israel, and I was pretty sick that day. And Tyler called me and was like, "Hey man, my plans fell through. I want to watch the game with you. Can I come over?" And I was like, "Sure." So me and Tyler Israel, Clemson fan, watched the game together, and I told him, I said, Hunter Renfro is probably the best story in college football, unless Jalen Hurts gets put in at halftime and comes back and wins this game.
Well, Jalen Hurts, when he got put in, looked terrible in that game.
It was awful. They didn't give him time to get in there and get warmed up. They should have let him. He should have done the same exact thing that we did in the game against you guys.
Well, he looked great against
but
us.
backwards.
He looked great against us, and well, they knew Tua in that second quarter. You know, I watching the game, and I'm not an expert, but I was noticing him throwing. I was like, he's throwing off his back leg, and that means he's hurt. And I think Herbstreit even said something, that rush is bothering him. He's throwing off his back leg, and at that point they should have realized, you know, he's damaged goods out there. He still didn't play defense, though. I mean that. So I'm not making excuses for Alabama because they got beat.
And not only that, Quentin Williams, we got one of the greatest defensive players in the game, and he's going. I'm pretty sure he's declared for the draft already.
He has,
but I mean,
he's projected like the number 2 overall pick.
Yeah, old number 92 didn't do a thing in this game against Clemson.
Well, y'all didn't look right. You didn't coach right. That fake field goal was about as dumb as our fake punt.
Yeah, and I mean, Max Jones. Who the hell is Max Jones?
Yeah,
Mac Jones.
Well, they were ready for it. Clemson was ready for that field goal. And
we'll never get another fake play over on them again, ever.
No.
After that one that we
Clemson, they're well coached, but they got all year to prepare for this. They got that ACC is so weak now. It's just. And I know I'm an SEC guy and I'm an SEC homer, but it really is. And Clemson's stout. I mean, Clemson, if they were in the SEC, they would 100%
compete.
Yeah, it would be right there at the top. But it wouldn't be just a walkover.
The schedule would not be as
lenient. And then next year, Georgia Tech, the next 2 or 3 years, Georgia Tech's going to be awful because they're getting out of the option. And they're going to have to change every bit of personnel they've got.
They fired old
Paul Johnson,
and for after years.
Yeah, well, he retired, but
I was asking that. Well, yeah, exactly. But I was like, is that like a like a death in the family, like the uncle you don't see much that's just gone now or whatever?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah, man, he's been gone from Georgia Southern for an awful long time, and then he. And, you know, I liked him when he was at Navy because my brother went to Navy. But when he went to Georgia Tech, I'm a Georgia fan.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and then he made it easy to get over him, liking him. I hope for the best for the guy, but he talked a lot of smack in the newspaper. And they beat Georgia a few times. And, and you know what? When you're not pulling for a team when you're not pulling for a team that runs the option, it's really awful to watch. Watching Georgia and Georgia Tech was awful, especially when you can't stop them and it's 3 yards, 5 yards. 4 yards, 2 yards, 6 yards, and it's just a methodical 13-minute drive.
That'll win.
And then
games.
They go for it on 4th down. It just sucks. So
I hear you, man.
It sucks, but I don't know. But hopefully we'll have a good baseball season coming up.
Man, I was just about to segue into that. So I'm okay with Fulte. I'm okay with Toussaint. I'm okay with. Who else do we get? I think that we haven't. I think we need one more stud pitcher.
Well, we can still make a move. We got some money. What's our outfield going to look like? Acuna for sure.
Acuna for sure.
Is Enciarte at center still?
I think. Enciarte is still in, and I don't know if we're going to bring up old Adam Dunn or whatever.
Markakis is gone. Dunn's got to go. Dunn can't do it.
Dunn's got to go for sure. But see, and I think that we was Markakis part of that crew that we avoided arbitration with.
Markakis has been in the league for 14 years. He was a free agent, but we weren't sure if we were going to sign him or not.
I like Markakis. I want to keep Markakis.
Yeah, but
I
he
don't
was
mind. I
so
know he's
weak.
just
The last month and a half, he was terrible.
Yes, and here's the thing: do we want Bryce Harper?
Hell no.
I know. Like, I'm agreeing
I'd rather
with you.
put that money in pitching.
I'm agreeing with you. I think that our bats are fine. We were scoring 3 and 4 runs a game. That'll win any
Not
other
having
game.
Swanson,
as
the shortstop,
pitching.
hurt. Swanson's kind of the glue out there. He doesn't hit the ball, and he's a great eight
Very
hitter.
great defensively.
But at the 8 spot, he's really good. His average is misleading because he doesn't get shit to hit. Man, I'm just full on.
You're
cussing.
fine now.
Yeah.
They've already turned off.
Yeah, so they don't care about all this. But but Swanson hitting in the 8 spot, he doesn't get anything to hit because the pitcher's after him.
Yep.
So he's just trying to get things in play and keep things alive and do whatever. Who's the third baseman?
Albies.
No, not Albies is going to be a stud, I think.
Albies is our monster. Everybody's been trying to get him. Everybody's been trying to take him. We had
guy with the cannon of an arm.
Culberson. Charlie Culberson.
Charlie Culberson is great.
Man.
But he's a great backup. We had the guy from the Dominican that played third for us a lot last year, and he didn't hit for shit in the playoffs. But now we got
Johan Camargo.
Yeah, but see, I don't think you give up on Camargo.
No, not at all, dude. Well, they're all very clutch hitters.
But
Every one
they
of them
picked up that has been MVP or whatever that guy was.
Josh Donaldson.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Josh.
So much money, $28 million for 1 year.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Now, and we got Brian McCann. Well, I do like the fact that we brought Brian McCann back just so he can retire a Brave. And not only that, we needed that kind of leadership in the locker room for one more year.
The one guy was an awesome clutch hitter.
Dude, Suzuki,
yes.
I know. I was so pissed off about that.
And I would have gotten rid of Flowers and put Suzuki.
Well, they say that Flowers is better defensively.
Oh.
And or at least that's what all of the AJC, the Atlanta Journal, whatever.
Well, I read where we didn't have a great offseason pickups. And I don't think, but, a lot of our guys are going to get older and be better. Acuna is going to have a full season. Albies is going to have a full season. Hopefully Swanson can stay healthy. He's still young. We still got guys in the minors that might come up. We got some studs down.
Christian Pache is a stud.
Yeah, and I don't know what they're going to do in right field. I don't know if they're going to put Camargo out there or something. I don't know what they're going to do. But
here's the thing. I know that everybody is saying that, and I do not want Bryce Harper. I do not think that he's not necessary.
They're saying he's between the Phillies and I think the Nationals. And then I think Machado is between the White Sox and the Phillies.
Or the Yankees. I thought the Yankees were going to make a push for Machado.
They might. I don't know. I don't want Machado either.
Yeah, I don't want him either. I just think he's a name. I don't think
anybody that tells you they're not
overrated.
going to hustle. That's not their type of game.
You can tell he wasn't running out. He wasn't running out anything. And I felt the same way about Ender Inciarte in the beginning. Like, he didn't seem like he was running out singles. Like, he could have gotten on base a couple times. He just
I don't know what happened to
Inciarte.
The second half of the year, he played well.
Yeah, well, that's what he changed up.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We just really couldn't do anything against anybody outside after our starter comes off the field. Like, our starter usually does halfway decent, and I don't know why we've still got Julio Teheran.
Hopefully we'll have a better bullpen this year. But I just think they're going to improve. I just don't know if the Phillies are going to suck as bad, and the Nationals seem to be regressing a little bit.
Yeah, but they're taking a lot of our. They took who did they get from? Rocket went to the Nationals. Rocket Wheeler's now coaching the Nationals. He's in there.
But he ain't playing.
Minor, I know, but they're taking a lot of our coaching staff and a lot of our.
I hadn't seen Rocket in a while.
Yeah, I mean, Kurt Suzuki went there, correct? Didn't Kurt Suzuki go to the Nationals?
Well, you know what? Last year was unexpected. I think it will be better this year. I just think. We haven't even mentioned Freddie Freeman.
Well, that's what I was saying. We got Freddie Freeman.
We got 3 people in our lineup there that could be the best in baseball at the position, arguably.
Yep.
Potentially with Albies, Acuna, and Freeman. Freeman's a stud.
Well, I was literally just going to say a while ago, it's a good thing that we've got Brian McCann back because I think Freddie needs one more year before he becomes that veteran in the locker room.
Freddie's only like 28. I mean, he's still young.
But he's still like the oldest person on the team, minus say Josh Donaldson and Adam Duvall now, or Brian McCann. Dunn.
Dunn needs to go. I'm hoping they got rid of him.
Yeah,
Are they still part of the 40 man?
That I don't know. They signed him to a AAA contract, so
Yeah, I don't know what his status is because he didn't come on and hit at all late in the season.
Yeah.
I mean, he was below 200, but it should be fun.
it will be fun.
I mean, because basketball, I don't think Bama's going to do anything. Georgia's not going to do anything.
We lost Colin Sexton to the Cavaliers, and he was our stud. So.
Yeah, so I don't think Georgia's going to do anything. So, and then I'm a Hawks fan, and all I do is pull for them to lose so they can get the Zion sweepstakes or R.J. Barrett, and then so baseball and golf.
The February 13th pitchers and catchers report. So we're getting.
We're a month away.
We're right there. Well, not only that, college starts up in like 2 weeks. I think, right? Doesn't Coastal got games in like 2 weeks?
I don't think they play in 2 weeks. I know they got their step up.
I talked to Perez. I think he's got games coming up like within a month.
Well,
for sure.
I know that, but they have a step up to the plate fundraiser, which they do about a week before the season starts. And I want to say that's February 7th.
Yeah.
Whatever the first Thursday is in February. So they play early February. And, and I don't know if you ever go to Coastal games, but that's a good time.
Dude, that stadium is bonkers.
It's nice. It's
Very
fun.
nice.
It's good baseball. It goes by
I feel
quick.
like that stadium is nicer than Pelican Stadium.
It's newer. So I
like
say,
the facade.
Yeah, and that's
it looks
really
like a ballpark.
But the Pelican Stadium's just aging a little bit, and I don't want to say anything, and and get the guy in trouble. But I talked to a upper management guy for the Pelicans, and he's told me that they're really pushing the city to upgrade the stadium. So
yeah, for sure,
because it's getting old. I mean,
the Cubbies going to hang on to him.
He doesn't know all that, so I didn't get into all that, but. Boy, it was better when they had the Braves here.
Man, wasn't it, though? We had Jason Hayward, Brian McCann,
Jeff
Francoeur, Frenchie, yeah.
Adam Wainwright, when he was still a Brave.
Oh, speaking of, this is totally unrelated. Did you hear about the old, what was his name? Oh, God, Wetland?
Oh, yeah, that's awful. I don't want to talk about that. That's terrible. 4-year-old?
4-year-old, man.
Yeah, that's terrible. I'm hoping it's not true, but... I don't know.
I heard it on the CBS Sports Radio. I heard him give he was arrested for whatever it was, and then I was like, dude, this is awful.
Well, it happened 12 or 13 years ago. So what probably happened is the girl probably had a lot of mental things and was going to a psychiatrist and things. Listen, I went to, this is not about John Wetland, but it's unfortunate in my lifetime. I went to a Catholic school from kindergarten through 12th grade, and unfortunately, I had 2 kids in my school. One was a really good friend of mine in grade school, and then I was really good friends with his family, and he was 2 or 3 years behind me. And they both got by a priest, and it was just a really unfortunate and situation, and they both settled for quite a sum of money. One of them settled for a bunch of money and gave it all to victims. I mean, he literally he compressed it and forgot about it, and then tried to commit suicide, and they uncovered what happened.
Wow.
And he won this money, and just to show that he wasn't about getting the money, he turned around and gave it all to paid his legal fees and gave it all to the victims, advocacy group or whatever. And then another one, the other guy that went to school with me, who was a good athlete, one of my best friends, used to spend the night at his house, spend the night at my house. Got really weird in high school. Nobody could understand what happened to him. And then, it comes out, and it's just an unfortunate situation, and it's awful. And it's just unbelievable how sick people are. And, you want to give Wetland the benefit of the doubt, but, nobody's going to put themselves through this.
Yeah, nobody at all.
And John Wetland hadn't played baseball in 20 years, so it's I don't know. I'm not going to convict a guy, and it's just
nobody knows
sick.
the situation. It's just sad.
It's a sick. When you read it, it's just a sick situation, altogether. So you just hope to God nobody's. But there are people out there like that. It's just unfortunate.
Well, the woman who is the 29-year-old woman in the Hacienda health program or whatever, she was in a coma for 14 years. Gave birth. in a coma for 14 years, just gave birth.
That's disgusting. I didn't know that. That's terrible.
Well, I wish I hadn't brought it up.
Man, we're taking a happy show that was, typical our ADD conversation.
We're going to wrap it up in a second anyway, so I was just figuring that, we'd leave them on something.
Leave them on something.
The roller coaster has to come to the bottom.
Well, just remember next week I want you to hit Wes up with...
what's going on with Robert?
With Robert.
I'll definitely do that.
And do that. And he likes Robert, but he's no problem calling him out. And,
Wes got no problem calling anybody out.
Well, Wes is probably better at the Tito stories now than I am because he's in there more than I am. Everything I hear at Tito's pretty much now is secondhand.
Everything I get is secondhand.
And it's I do go in there some, and I still have a good time. But,
same here.
But I might, if I'm lucky, I'm once a week. Or I was in there a lot during the holidays because I was blowing it out during the holidays before my sabbatical. And the classic thing, I don't know if you saw the video, and I will leave on this Tito story. I don't know if you saw at the end of our Christmas party every year, Andrew Beckwith, who's the College World Series MVP, takes a tray of biscuits.
Biscuit chunking.
And usually it's Wes holding a pan, and he's trying to hit the pan as a bullseye over his head. And it's from one end of the bar to the other. Now, you need to go on the Uncle Tito's Facebook page if you haven't seen it already. But so he gets on. Have you seen this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this year, Repack with the helmet. He wears a Denver Bronco game worn helmet, and he's standing there and he's taking it. And the guy does a Featherstone. That was the guy in Necessary Roughness. I don't know if you remember that movie with Scott Bakula as the quarterback, and Featherstone was the fastest guy, and he couldn't catch. And Bakula finally sticks a football in the face mask.
Yeah.
Well, Beckwith threw a damn sidearm biscuit so fast it got wedged right in the face mask. And my God, it was the funniest thing.
That's so good.
It was. He's somebody before he goes off to minor league camp. You ought to get him in here. I can help you with that.
Will you do that?
Yeah, he's really good to talk to. He's a good kid.
Hell yeah, line that up. I would love to talk to him.
You can talk baseball. You can talk Coastal National Championship run with him. You can talk, a lot probably more concise thoughts than what we've talked about.
That Coastal National Championship did so much for that school as a program.
That's the coolest moment. Honest to God, that was in Tito's history. I think that was on my birthday. I remember it. And it was on a Wednesday afternoon. They played the game at 12, and everybody shut down. And Tito's was packed. And I say it all the time. It's what I envision like the 50s before TV was everywhere and people used to go into bars and listen to the
around
game.
The radio.
Yeah, because it was on like ESPN something and nobody got it, or not everybody got it. So the bar was crowded, and as Tito's was, as it was getting closer and closer to the end, it got more and more crowded. And I just remember when they won that game, we went crazy.
That's the first national championship that has ever been in this area ever. For anything.
And it's such a small school, and they're such good kids, man. They really are. And when you meet Dad, that's his nickname. If I'll talk to him, I think I can get him over here on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
And it might be something you might have to do on an off night. A special edition.
Special edition, absolutely.
Yeah, and because he's probably at high A this year. He had a really good year, his first full year in the minors last year, and he had a really good year. Started at low A, ended up at high A. And I know he goes to Arizona like the last week of February.
Cactus League.
Yeah, surprise Arizona is where he goes. But he would be a really good guest for you.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'd love to talk to him. I just want to get Repack in here so that with a helmet on so we can do some.
That's what we do.
That'll be a Tito's exclusive.
We have him sit right there, and then every time he says something, we just.
Shut up, Repack.
Yeah, we're not bullies. You'll see why we harass this guy.
Yeah,
but we love him. I mean, it's hard to believe that because I take him to this race every year and do all this stuff, and I really do like the guy.
No, Repack's my boy.
Listen, the guy would take a bullet for me.
He seriously would.
He really would, and there's something to be said. He's really a good dude, and he's got a heart of gold.
Absolutely.
And he knows we're kidding. And I've told him before, Repack, if we ever go too far, which we've gone pretty damn far.
Yeah.
And I can't believe we haven't gone too far yet.
Yeah.
Just let me know. And the guy's and he's back at it. He's got thick skin.
Yeah.
The thickest.
He really does. The thickest skin.
Yes. Remember, that's the show when we finally get him on here. John Repack,
the thickest skin. Let's leave it at that.
That's perfect.
That's perfect. All right, Brother James.
I enjoyed it as always, man.
Good game. YouTubers, hang tight with me for just a second. I got some links for you to click at the bottom of the page. If you just hang tight, I'm going to do an intro for audio folks. Brother Jimmy Feuger, ladies and gentlemen. Second time alumni here at the MI Stuff.
Hey, I'll come on anytime, buddy. I enjoy it.
That was good. I like the movie thing was good, but then the stream of consciousness talk was really good.
But that's us.
Great.
We have the most ADD rambling conversation. That's how you and I would talk if we were at the bar.
Exactly. But that's what I like to try to recreate here on the podcast for everybody, because not everybody is used to. Not every conversation is organized, and you talk about just one thing. Like, that seems too much like work.
Yeah.
I just want to have a conversation.
Well, I'm here anytime.
Good talk, man. All right, audio people. Appreciate you listening to us. Please go click subscribe on the Apple Podcast, which you can do now. Jimmy finally stepped up to the dark side. Got him an iPhone. We got the podcast app on Apple. Please click subscribe on that. If you are listening on Android, you can go to Castbox or any of the podcast apps. Anywhere podcasts are available, click subscribe. Please do that. Go to the YouTube page, click subscribe. I'm going to say all of this in the intro as well in just a second. So you're YouTubers, you're going to hear it twice. Audio people, you've already heard this at the beginning. Rewind and do it again. Be good people. In a world full of shitty people, don't be one of those people. Peace, bitches. All right, YouTubers, hang tight for just a second. Let me get some. Let me get the intro here done. Hey guys, how you living? You doing well? Good. Glad to hear that. So in this episode, Brother Jimmy Feuger stopped by to talk about movies for a little while, and then we segued into Tito's. And you guys are not unfamiliar with Tito's, seeing as how that I've talked about it on countless episodes. So that happened, and then we started talking about sports a pretty good bit there at the end, but not going to give you any spoilers. It's a really good episode. You guys, regular listeners, will probably hear my voice is not 100%. I'm still getting there. But anyway, the content is there. The content is great. I'm stoked for you to hear it. Please go to Kelsey Hudgens on YouTube. Please click subscribe on that page. Please click subscribe on podcast app on iPhone. Podomatic. You can download the Podomatic app on Android or Castbox or anywhere podcasts are available. Google Play. I'm on the Google Play app now. You can do that. Please click subscribe on all of the fronts. Go to MI Stuff Podcast on Facebook. Click like on that page. Please click follow on Twitter and on Instagram. MI Stuff Podcast on both of those. On Twitter, it's at MI Stuff Podcast 1. On Instagram, it's at MI Stuff Podcast. So do that. Follow us on all the fronts. Stay updated on everything that's going to be going on in the podcast world. And I think that's all I got for you as far as promotions goes. Got Brother Wes Standish is going to be here a week from today on Sunday coming up. The next episode is going to be Seth Scalaro. You guys know Brother Seth. He's going to be here. We're going to talk a lot about sports and the like, all sorts of different things. I got a book now, YouTubers. You see, I'm organizing these things in a book. Got Wes Standish coming on the 23rd. We don't have anybody booked for Sunday, episode number 99 yet. And then Ashley Justice is going to be coming to talk about Beauty Counter and Counterman, which is helping my skin feel so much better right now with no harsh chemicals or anything that causes cancer and all these good things. None of that stuff. And Ashley Justice is going to be able to talk about all that on episode 100. Stay tuned for all of that. Please be good people. Don't be a shitty person. In a world full of shitty people, don't be one of the people that we refer to at the end of this episode. And you're going to have to just wait until the end because we ended on a bummer, man. We ended on a rough one. So that being said, listen to the episode and don't be shitty like some of those people we talked about at the very end. I think that's all I got for you. So please click subscribe on all of the fronts. Click follow and like on all of the fronts. Share the pages. Let's get these numbers up so we can finally get to the point to where we can monetize this thing a little bit, because that's our goal. It's not really our goal, but it's kind of our goal. So anyway, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, episode number 96 of MI Stuff featuring Jimmy Feuger. Enjoy, motherfuckers. All right, YouTubers, click the links, and I'm going to put it at the bottom of the page. If you're watching live, they're not there right now. They will be shortly, so please click those links. Click subscribe. Be good people. I love you. I mean it. Peace, bitches.